Hey guys, welcome back. We are on part 2 of our ministry minutes from last week, and Alfredo and I are going to be talking to you about some suggestions for activities. Just keep in mind that these are just suggestions, just some things. You can totally take them and run off with them however you may choose to do. It's just kind of some things that we had in mind to give you a head start. The first one is just to celebrate. So you could have a welcome back party, or you could celebrate all the birthdays that have happened since we've had to stop gathering together, graduations, promotions, anything big that has happened in the lives of your youth during quarantine. A possible verse for that could probably be like Philippians 4:4, which is rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. So you could always do that, whether it's through Zoom or if you do eventually meet back in person to have some type of welcome back party safely, of course. But for now, it would probably be recommended to do some kind of Zoom type thing, Google Meet, like we talked about in the last video.
Another type of activity that you could try with your youth is imaginative prayer, which is pretty much a way of introducing a biblical story perhaps, or reading out loud to your youth group, and then having all the participants kind of follow along with the story and really think about the parts or the elements or the components of the story that stand out to them the most. And there's always a reason why certain words pop out to them, or certain sceneries or certain actions or characters stand out the most to individual students. And that leads into great conversations or discussions afterwards once you're done reading it. Another way of going about it is like Lecture Divina is one of the imaginative prayers or reflections or meditations that a lot of people like to use, so you can introduce that during this time. But yeah, it's just kind of, if you're reading a biblical passage, for example, of Jesus walking near the lake or anything like that, tell them to imagine what it would smell like, or the reactions people would have in a certain story, if, Jesus doing a miracle or something like that. So any kind of way that they can bring their imagination into the story that you're reading that you guys want to talk about that week, that's a great activity that you guys can try.
The next activity that you can do is, of course, snail mail, which we all know is the snails that send you mail through the post office. That was a joke.
I'm gonna keep that one.
I feel like you have to explain it.
In all seriousness, snail mail is a great way to keep connected with your students. So if you have your youth, the students, you have their addresses on file, you can send them just a nice postcard, just something to make them still feel connected. That's kind of something that we're all struggling with right now, I think, is just making sure we feel connected to our community. So that's a great way to do that. You can also try to get your priest or other members of the clergy to send something as well. That would be even better, just to let your youth know that you're thinking about them, that you're excited for what's to come when we can all gather together again. You can also reach out to retirement homes in the community, and you can see if they are accepting letters as well. I know there have been a lot of people around the country that have been asking for some mail for their people in retirement homes that aren't able to see their families right now as they aren't allowing visitors. So that would be something that'd be really cool to coordinate as a youth group.
Another activity you guys can try is doing adoration with your group. I know we've done that a couple times here at the youth center, and it's been a very awesome experience. Of course, it's different from being in an actual adoration space, but it's definitely something that maybe some of your young people can appreciate. Some of the ways you can go about that is following the diocesan guidelines when it comes to doing music for ministry, as well as you can also use pre-recorded material to have that music component in your adoration. And of course, with the adoration setup, you could work with your priest from your parish to how that can go about, how you guys can make that happen. And then we also have a Ministry Minutes episode prior to this one where we talk about being intentional with music. So if you want a couple tips and tricks on how to choose the best music or the most appropriate music for your adoration services, you can check out that episode as well.
At the end of the day, activities are fun, and it's really fun to do something different, especially when it's been, for most parishes, it will probably be a long time since we've seen each other, whether it's via internet, Zoom, or whether it's actually in person when everything is safe again. So activities are all fun, but just with everything going on in this world, there is stuff that has affected the day-to-day, and so I think it would be a cool idea for you guys to kind of just have an open, honest discussion about that, and how that's affected your lives and like how it relates to your faith. And so you can always ask them what they would like to talk about. That's always a great suggestion, is to ask them what they want to talk about, what things they want to discuss, so that you guys can have some time to prepare. So maybe ask them a few weeks ahead of time so that they kind of have a chance to tell you and you have a chance to kind of prepare some discussion questions for them. It may take some time to get them to open up, but that's okay. Just take this at your own pace. Again, we still want to keep it, like light-spirited and about just being with Jesus. So think about that.
In the description below, we will have a link to a sample schedule you can try for your virtual gathering. So this is something maybe if you don't know exactly where to start, and when it comes to planning a virtual gathering with your young people, you can look at what we have provided and then kind of adapt it to your group and to your group needs. So all that information is found in the link below.
Thank you guys for checking in and checking out this video, and we hope to see some of these suggested activities play out in your own youth groups in the future. So we'd love to get tagged and stuff and just see what you guys are doing and see the kind of spin you've made on it yourself. I think that's super fun. We will catch you guys in the next Ministry Minutes video.
And also guys, before we go, there is a survey link in the description below as well for our youth and young adult, whether you're active in youth ministry or not. Maybe you've been at the retreat center before and that's how you're watching this content. But we would love to get your feedback as to what type of topics and type of retreats that you'd be interested in. So all that info is listed, is added to that link that we're talking about in the youth survey below.